Hey guys, welcome back to another Star Rail video. So Jingyuan has been out for a few days now, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have pulled for him already and you're wondering how to build him. Or if you're still hesitant about it, hopefully this video can give you a better understanding about how Jingyuan works and how strong he is. I'll be going through his skills, light cones, relics, and team building, so buckle up and let's jump right in. Let's start off by talking about why Jingyuan is so strong and how he works. So currently Edition characters are pretty weak because they specialize in AoE content and they're really weak against single targets. But the thing is, right now most of the content is mainly single target bosses. This is also why a lot of people are using Hook over Himeko, as Hook can dish out much more single target damage. As much as I love Himeko myself, her damage is honestly really weak, and the only place she's viable is probably just farming or Echo 4. So yeah, Miho, if you can give her a buff, that'd be nice. Jingyuan, however, although designed as an Edition character, his talent allows him to shine against single target enemies. Jingyuan's gameplay is focused around his Lightning Lord talent, which can strike enemies up to 10 times, starting at 3 base hits. His skill adds 2 hits to his Thunder Lord, with his ultimate and technique adding 3 hits each. Basically, you want to cast your skill every turn to maximize your damage so that you have at least 5 Thunder Lord hits per turn. Keep in mind that his Lightning Lord attack won't go off if he's CC'd. The rest of his kit is pretty easy to understand, with his skill and ultimate just doing AoE damage to all enemies. Also, the Lightning Lord attack counts as follow-up attack, so if you're going Simulator Universe, the Elation Path buffs makes him pretty broken. And in terms of his skills, you want to prioritize his talent first, then ulti, and then skill. Now let's take a look at what light cones are best for him. Without a doubt, the number 1 light cone for Jingyuan is his signature light cone before dawn. This light cone is honestly just straight up broken compared to the other Edition ones. In simple English, it increases your crit damage, skill and ultimate damage, as well as Jingyuan's Lightning Lord follow-up attack damage. Now normally I wouldn't recommend people to pull for light cones if you're F2P, but I think this one's pretty bonkers, so if you really like Jingyuan, then go for it. At number 2, it's Today is Another Peaceful Day. I think this one beats the other Edition light cones by quite a bit, and it gets more powerful as you superimpose it. Doing some quick math, Jingyuan's ultimate is 130 energy, so that times 0.2, that's a 26% damage increase. But there's a catch. Yeah, unfortunately you can only get this one if you buy the Nameless Glory Pass, and if you already selected a light cone when you hit level 30 in the past, then yeah, you're gonna have to wait until the next pass. Mihoyo really just said a big FU to all the free-to-play homies out there. Now at number 3 is finally a light cone that is a more realistic option for most people. The seriousness of breakfast. Yeah, make sure to eat your breakfast as it's really important for your health, and as Super in position 1, it increases your damage by a flat 12% and up to 24% after you defeat 3 enemies. It's pretty decent, and this is my most recommended one if you don't want to spend any money. Number 4 may be a surprise because it's actually Himeko's signature light cone on the Milky Way. I feel like whoever's in charge of the balance team actually deep down hates Himeko because not only is the character weak, but the light cone is also shit. At least as of right now, until when the game actually has more AoE content and Himeko is viable. So you get a 9% attack that can stack up to 5 times, which is 45%. Sounds pretty broken, right? But most of the time you're actually just going to get 1 or 2 enemies as bosses right now, so you're really looking at a 9 to 18% attack increase. Also, you only do the 30% damage when hitting enemies with weakness break, which is just 1 turn. Still, it's a 5-star light cone, so it does provide some decent stats compared to the 4-star ones. At number 5, we have the Birth of the Self. It increases follow-up attack by 24%, and if the enemy is equal or below 50%, you get another 24% increase. Pretty straightforward. At number 6, Genius's Repose. It increases your attack by 16%, and after defeating an enemy, you get an additional crit damage increase for 3 turns. I guess this one's pretty good for non-boss content, but overall it's not as good as the other ones because, you know, it has a criteria that you need to pull off. And finally at number 7, Make the World Clamor. Unfortunately, Jingyuan's damage is all his follow-up attack damage, so the ult damage increase doesn't really mean a whole lot for him. Now let's talk about Relics. There's only 2 sets that you should be looking at in my opinion. The first one is Sizzling Thunder. It's the best one as it increases lightning damage and attack after using skill for 1 turn. The attack increase for 1 turn is actually a little underwhelming compared to the other ones, but since Jingyuan should be using his skill every turn, it's fine. Second set is the Musketeer set. Now I actually recommend this set over the Thunder set only because the damage is really close and it's a lot easier to farm because you probably have some like decent 4-star pieces that you can put together and use. This is also the more universal set that most DPS characters can use, so when you have better gear you can give these equipments to the other characters. As for ornaments, Inert Sasoto is the best one, followed by Space Sealing Station, which is not as good but still pretty strong. So for his gear, you want crit rate on cloak, speed boots over attack boots, as speed is really important for Jingyuan so that he can use the ornament set, which requires 120 speed, and in some situations you can cast his skill twice before the lightning lord attacks. For ornaments, you want lightning damage for the orb and attack or energy regeneration for the rope. But honestly, it's so early into the game and no one's really even close to having the perfect gear yet, so just run with what you have. Your main priority is to get the crit chance up and attack damage up, and the rest you can worry about later. Finally, let's talk about Jingyuan's team comps. I'd say his comp building is pretty flexible depending on what content you're hitting, but I think there's this one character that you have to take with him no matter what you're doing. If you don't, you're kind of taking like Jingyuan's sword away and you're swapping it with a mop. You might have already guessed it, it's Jingyuan. Jingyuan is such an important support character for him, as she can allow him to use his ultimate more often and then increasing his lightning lord hits. In a standard comp, I'd pair him with Jingyuan and Natasha. Natasha because she can help cleanse CC, and then you can run any frontline you want like MC, Japad, or even Clara. Now you can also run another DPS character if you want, but just make sure there's enough skill points to go around, as Jingyuan has to use his skills every turn for max DPS. And you might be wondering, what about my Bronya and Asta? Well, to be honest, Jingyuan offers a lot more when we're talking about Jingyuan, so if you can only take one buffing character, I'd say stick with Jingyuan. But if you feel like survivability isn't an issue, then you can run Bronya, Asta, and Jingyuan all together to show some big numbers. So what are my personal thoughts on Jingyuan? Overall, I'd say Jingyuan is a pretty strong character, especially in Simulator Universe, but he definitely has some flaws. Firstly, compared to Sealy, he's really slow, so in some situations, Sealy may have already acted 3 turns before Jingyuan's first. His ultimate also costs 130 energy, which I believe is the second highest energy cost in the game right now, just below Yanqing, and because of this, you really need Jingyuan to help him out. I also think that if you don't have his light cone, his damage output really goes from, let's say, an S tier to like a A+ tier. If you're still thinking about whether you should pull for him or not, I'd say if you don't have Sealy, then you should really pull for him, because in 1.1, Silverwolf and Locha aren't DPS characters, and you need to wait a really long time until Blade or Kafka. If you do have Sealy however, then I don't think he's a must pull. If you played Genshin or just any other turn-based games in general, you know that these early DPS characters are eventually going to get power crept. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and I'll catch you guys next time.